for allowing me to enter into your ears through this recording, and hopefully, all the way into your heart as far as how I am observing and communicating to you my perspectives on this thing called self-discovery of resilience that I believe we all have and can share if and when we choose to do so. I mention that because there's more that we have in common than we have in differences. So I'm asking you at least to indulge me for these 500 seconds each day to then just consider a new perspective from a guy you don't know, maybe a term you haven't heard before, or a way I am attempting to deliver it to you. I'm only asking for you to consider this if you are also on that journey. I think we all are, but I can only tell you about mine, but look forward to joining you on yours. This is an extension of part 1. This is part 2 of making love to God. Now, as I mentioned in part 1, and in all the episodes, I've cited that critical book for me in my knowledge, understanding, and application of those words in that book by Mr. U.S. Anderson, The 3 Magic Words. Again, to mention in part 1, I highly recommend that you take the time to read through that book. It's not that dense, but it is a different venture, a different bridge for you to get to and cross if you haven't had that explanation of what that means to make my life better through 3 simple words. So in that book, again, this not meant to give you the spoiler alert and jump to the end of the book. I highly recommend you read the entire book. But those 3 magic words are, you are God. Now, even if you disagree with that statement in that book, through the book, that author, and even me, just take that as a construct for this discussion today. If I say you are God, well, actually, Mr. Anderson said that first, as I read it. But if he says you are God, I am citing that many times before. I am an advocate of that statement. It helps me understand in my journey. But then in this topic today, the question and or statement about making love to God, how is that possible? You don't make love to an ethereal, entity out there floating around in space and, creating stars and peace and love and war. How can you make love to that? But that's out there, although I really deal a lot in concepts, then context and content of the details of a topic, and then back up a chain, back to putting those content details into context, and then taking those contextual modules into a fully grown, developed concept. But if you can accept that statement that if you are God, let's run a scenario through. If you are God, and so is your partner, your significant other, your partner, your wife, your husband, whatever you call that person. If you are God, and so is that person, is it now still a stretch to consider that notion of making love to God? No, I'm not asking you to make love to Jesus Christ in person or in resurrection or reincarnation, but put it to the side. The commonality, if you can accept it, if you are God and so is your partner, is it too far of a thought or observation to consider making love to that God? That's one aspect. Another aspect, what about if you, like me, you don't have a partner? You're not married, you're single, you're independent out here in this world, male or female. Now, can you make love to God without a partner? No, I'm not talking about, sitting there with, a Pornhub, account or subscription and masturbating yourself to death all day. No. Making love is probably a misnomer. How about producing love? How about embracing love? How about accepting love to God? How about sharing love with God? In this case, the second scenario I gave you, no partner involved. This is all you. Can you make love, accept love, produce love with God without anyone else? Just think about that. You can produce that love. One, and why? Because it's given to you. As I mentioned before in previous episodes and in part 1, making love to God, if you can consider also another aspect of my proposition to you, that love already exists within you. That heartbeat, that blood, that circuitry that is coursing through your body that puts you and I here still today. That love exists. So what are we making? What are we creating? Nothing. Well, we can produce the quality, the atmosphere, the embracement or embracing of that love we already have with ourselves as the God that we are and from the God that brought us here. Just consider that. I know I'm asking you for a couple of leaps of faith here, and considering how I'm stating this to you as a question and as a statement. To make love to God isn't really that egregious. It's not that sexual either. It's about accepting who and what you are, not your title, not your car, not your house, not your degrees. Who and what you are at your absolute base core. Not the clothes you wear in the back, not the shoes. What do you have inside of you that makes you who you are? That brought you here. That gave you all the opportunities and the ideas to observe, take in, accept, make decisions, and produce from that thing I've been talking to you about before, about your beauty, your drive, your desire, your presence. So making love to God isn't an X-rated movie. It's you understanding what makes you go forward, what makes you who you are, what makes you connect with others who have a similar, common core capacity to love. On me is to now continue to learn that, understand it, accept it, and love it. And make love to you, make love to me. Making love to God is an everyday, not event, should be how we live each and every moment together. Thank you. Again, stay present, please. Stay current, please. Remember, the time is always 8:20.